Hey, what's going on, family? It's Marv. One rep at a time. I'm going to do an exercise tutorial for a leaning side dumbbell raise or leaning lateral raise. There's actually two ways to do this, so we'll go over both, and then with all of our exercise tutorial videos, I highly encourage you to watch me go over the setup, quick discussion, and then we'll have you or do your first few warm-up or working sets with me in your ear, so to speak, until you feel confident, competent to do it on your own. There's not a whole heck of a lot to this other than the setup. Now, when I program this in for clients, FYI, I always start with a traditional lateral raise, so I'll include the link down to that video down below. But this is another way to, kind of a different way to hit the side delt. So we're talking about this, let's see if you can see it, that head right here, the middle head of the deltoid, which gives you like the capped cannonball looking arms. So you could do this with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. I'll show you both, and there's two ways to do it like I talked about. We'll start with the easier setup one, which is you're just essentially hanging off of a sturdy, this is a power rack or a squat rack, but you hang out from any, sturdy pillar if you're doing this at home or any other piece of equipment in the gym. So let me go over the setup. Personally, I like to grip higher. You just put your feet as far as you can and you lean out. And what's gonna happen is you stop when your arms are exactly perpendicular with the floor, and you raise it up to where it's parallel with the floor. So it's just from here to here. Now, what does leaning do? Well, leaning, if I'm right here and I stand up, it's like we teach in our lateral raise, we're keeping tension on the side delt, or the side shoulder muscle, right? If I hang my arms here all day, there's no tension on your shoulders. If I keep them out here, there's tension on it. So by leaning, you're keeping tension on it. It's plain and simple. Now, when you go up to parallel, what does that mean? Well, if I go up to parallel here, and essentially I'm going a little bit above parallel to the floor as opposed to a traditional lateral raise, so you might get a little bit of trap involvement, so this muscle right here, but I do like it. We're not going crazy high. What I see a mistake with people will do the leaning and they still come all the way up. Well, route from here to there is all trap. Just do this on your own, right? You can feel it. You don't really feel much in your shoulders, but you feel it, you're trapped. So I don't want your trap taking over. Having it engage a little bit is fine, but just like with any other lateral raise, I don't want us to shrug it up. So really try to keep your shoulder down, so meaning I want that shoulder to be down. You can see versus shrugging it up. See the difference? That's a shrug, that's down. So that's what we're gonna wanna focus on. So let me show you the kettlebell real quickly, and then I'll show you the other way to do it when you're essentially lying on your side on a bench. So with the kettlebell, come up to a sturdy position you can hang from, and it can support your weight. Okay, now we get locked and loaded, and I come up to the side. Oops, I'm a little bit too high, and down. Parallel to the floor, and down. Now breathing, I've actually changed my mind how I like to breathe with this. Typically I teach it, breathe out as you come up. You can still do that. However, since we're leaning and our core is being engaged, I'd rather just take a deep breath in like the squat or a deadlift. Brace your core as if you're about to be punched. Up, down, breathe out. Up, down, breathe out. So that would look like brace, up, down, breathe out. Brace, up, down, breathe out. You can see on the side view, I'm coming straight out to my side. Now, there is the discussion real quickly about, do you pour the pitchers, right? Where you internally rotate your shoulder, bring the side shoulder muscle a little bit higher. Yes, that is more effective for targeting that middle delt, the middle head of the deltoid or your shoulder. However, this is a slight impinged position, so I'm going to leave that up to what you feel comfortable with, what your shoulder health is. If you already have bad shoulders, I would not pour the pitchers. I would just keep it nice and level. So what I'm talking about is, see how my hand is nice and level? If you pour the pitchers, your thumb drops lower than the pinky. And so that's what I'm talking about, that discussion. Now let me show you how to do the bench setup, and then we'll go through that first few working or warm-up sets together. Now, here's the bench setup. You'd use a 45-degree bench with the seat adjusted up. I know you can't see it on the screen, but the seat is adjusted up as if I'm doing an incline bench. So this is your traditional angle for an incline barbell bench press, which for most folks is really only training your front shoulder muscle, not really your chest. But I digress. So this is gonna be, the mechanics are just a little bit different. Personally, I prefer hanging from a cage or a cage or something sturdy. But let me go over the setup for this so you have this option as well, especially if you are someone who's electing to superset or do exercises back to back and you're already using a bench. You don't want to have to go walk across the gym or it's rush hour at a gym. So we're going to be on our knees and we're going to lean against it. Now you can lean like this. You could have your arms up. I mean, kind of like over the edge of it, whatever is comfortable with you. Personally, I just have my arm down on my side. Now what's going to happen is we're going to come here and we're going to go just short of perpendicular to the ground. So not up here, because up here, there's no tension on my muscles whatsoever. Here, there's still tension on the deltoid, right? The shoulder muscles. So you get the same thing. Brace, up, control it down. Brace, up, control it down. Now on the side angle, I'm going to pour the pitchers this time as if I had healthy shoulders, which I don't, so I don't pour the pitchers, but just so you can see the difference. So you can see how my thumb is lower than my pinky is higher than my thumb. However, it's gonna help you feel as if you're pouring pitchers out. And that is the lateral raise, leaning lateral raise using a bench. So now that we've done both setups, let's do that warm-up set together. I'm gonna use a dumbbell this time. So find something sturdy. Again, I personally like to grab up high, but some places in the gym, you're going to have this low handle, so do whatever you feel comfortable with. Lean out, okay? Your core is tight, you're in a straight line, so no letting the hips sag away. Okay, now we get in the start position. If you want to pour the pitchers or keep your hands level is entirely up to you. We're going to take a deep breath in, brace, up to parallel, control it down, breathe out. Brace, up to parallel, just control it down, breathe out. Up, parallel with the ground, control it down, breathe out. Brace, up to parallel, control it down, breathe out. Up to parallel, control it down, breathe out. Do not shrug up at the shoulders. Brace, up to parallel, breathe out. Brace, up, parallel, control it down, breathe out. 3 more. Brace, keep that core tight, up to parallel, don't let the hips sag away. Breathe out. Brace, up to parallel, control it down, breathe out. Last one. Brace, up, don't shrug up, parallel, control it down, breathe out. Carefully step away until you can do the leaning lateral raise, 1 rep at a time.